I want to share with you guys, the biggest lessons I've learned in my decade of training. Um, there's many invaluable lessons that you learn, on your fitness journey. It's not just about the physical aspect, it's about the mental properties that you develop, the stuff you learn that's invaluable that's going to get carried on with you for the rest of your life. Number one, the most important thing I would say is don't be afraid to ask for help. Right off the bat, my first 1 to 2 years of training were mostly subpar because I was scared to ask for help. I didn't know what I was doing. I would look online bodybuilding forums, but at the end of the day, I was scared to ask for help because I felt inadequate. I was scared of being judged. Looking back at it now, if I just took that leap of faith and just asked right off the start, my progress would be even better. So, swallow your pride and just ask if you don't know what you're doing. Number two would be learning. It's not about how long you're in the gym for. It's about the intensity, okay? 1 hour of pure locked in work is going to be better than, 2.5 hours of subpar work in the gym. Shorter rest breaks for hypertrophy, 60 to 90 seconds, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 12 reps in that range, occasionally going above, is going to get you the best results for building muscle. Number three would have to be not doing cardio excessively. People think that, you want to lose fat, I just got to do cardio. But we don't realize is cardio is catabolic, meaning by nature, it breaks down muscle. And if you do it after a long training workout, it's even worse. It's not about weight loss. It's about maintaining muscle, because the more muscle we have, the more calories we burn. So if you're sacrificing muscle for weight loss, you're going to look worse in the long run. So stop doing that. If you're going to do cardio, do it separately from your weight training session and make sure you're getting enough protein. This is crucial, which leads me to number four. You've got to be getting enough protein. In general, you can't out-train a bad diet. You could train as hard as you want in the gym, but if your diet is shit, you're not going to get the optimal results. In terms of protein, I stress 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, bare minimum, to even up to 1.25 grams. Get that over, 3 meals if possible. You don't have to worry about eating every 2.5 hours like the top bodybuilders say. As long as you're getting in your protein, space it out a good amount throughout the day, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. The next one, stop thinking carbs are the devil. Carbs are very, very necessary for building muscle and replenishing muscle glycogen stores after workout, because your muscle glycogen gets depleted after a tough workout, and you need carbs to repair it. Okay, carbs do help play a role in the muscle building process, so when you combine them with protein, it's most efficient. I always advise eating protein and carbs post-workout at a 2-to-1 ratio. So say for an example, if you get in 40 grams of protein, have 20 grams of a fast-digesting carb. This could be a Rice Krispie treat. This could be gummies. It could be pure dextrose, because you actually want that insulin spike after the workout. That's the one time where it's most optimal, because insulin growth-like factor does play a role in building muscle post-workout. The next one I would say is not really focusing on that mind-muscle connection in the gym. Okay, you've got to lock in. You've got to feel every rep. If you're rushing your reps, you're getting in subpar quality reps, you can't complain you're not building high-quality muscle. Feel the contraction of every single rep. Be in the present moment. That makes a huge difference in the long run. And the next one I would say is don't be afraid to train for strength. There's 2 different types of hypertrophy. There's myofibrillar hypertrophy and there's sarcoplasmic. The myofibrillar is with the higher reps, but the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is when we go lower reps in that strength range. 3, 4, 5, 6 reps. That's what builds the density in the muscle. You want to have density and you want to have size in a muscle. That's going to give you the most optimal look. And plus, who wants to be big and not strong? You want to be able to have a blend of both, right? And then the next one I would say, stress could really impact your gains. You've got to really try to minimize your stress outside the gym. All right, muscle building in the gym, or strength training in the gym, excuse me, that only sets a stimulus. The most important thing is what you do in the other, 22, 23 hours outside of the gym. Are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough water? And are you minimizing your stress? If you're not executing on those fundamentals, it's not going to matter in the long run. You've got to lock in on every single one of those. Next point, more specifically with hydration. You've got to be properly hydrated, okay? I advise drinking at least 1 gallon of water a day, but depending on where you live, if you're in a really hot climate working outside, you're going to need to increase that even more, okay? Just make sure you get your electrolytes in too. Don't just drink pure water, okay? And then the last point I would say is, logging your workouts. This is a huge mistake. I see people don't track their workouts, and they'll go into the next workout, they'll not remember what, weight they squatted the previous workout. And next thing you know, they're squatting the same way for the same reps week in and week out. Listen, guys, the only way to get your body to grow is through continual progressive overload. All right, your muscles know what weight you lifted the workout before, so if you keep doing the same weight, it's not going to grow. You've got to give your muscles a reason to grow. So track your workouts. Know the exact amount of sets, the exact amount of reps, the exact weight on every exercise, and aim to increase that by at least 1 rep every workout, and you will see the gains in the long run. So these are my biggest lessons I've learned throughout my 10 years. Keep that in mind, and like, comment, and share. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you.